This is Professor Teresa Pelkie. This is Session 7, Part 3, the distinct keyword. Many times you'll be working with tables that have multiple occurrences of the same value. When you have that situation, you'll sometimes want to get just one of each occurrence. For example, the slide shows the country language table selecting for the languages that begin with the letter E. What we really want here was just one of each occurrence. It doesn't really do us any good to see English repeated many times. To solve this problem, we can use the SQL distinct keyword to select just one of each occurrence of a value. The distinct keyword appears after the select keyword. It applies to all of the column selections that follow the keyword. Most of the time, you'll have a list of one or more column names following the distinct keyword, although it is possible to specify the asterisk character to select all of the columns in the table. We'll look at multiple columns with distinct in more detail later in this video. For now, look at this select statement and the results. This select is the same as on the previous slide with the addition of the distinct keyword. We are still selecting from the country language table, and we are still selecting for languages that start with the letter E. But notice what happens when you add distinct. The result set is filtered so that only one occurrence of each value is returned. Using this result set, it is much easier to see what the language names are that start with E. Rather than see a lot of duplicates of English, you can now easily see that there are 6 languages in this table that start with E. Now we'll take a look at how you can use multiple columns with distinct. This slide shows a select all for the city table. You can see that the result set includes the city name, the country code, the district, and population. For some country codes, the district appears more than once. That means that in this table, there is more than one city for that district. In our example, we would like to get a result set that shows just one occurrence of each country code and district pair. Once again, we can use the distinct keyword. In this select, we have specified distinct followed by the column names, country code, and district. The red arrows are pointing to the district names that appeared more than once on the previous slide where the distinct keyword was not used. When you use a distinct with more than one column, SQL selects just one of each row in the set of column values. In this case, I am using the word set to describe the combination of values that you get from the column names. If you were to remove the distinct keyword from this select and run this statement again, you would see that there would be sets of country code and district values where there are 2 or more rows that have the same country code and district. When you add the distinct keyword, as shown here, the sets are condensed, so you end up with only one occurrence for each set of column values. Finally, here is an example of how you can use a composite function with distinct. This builds upon what you learned about the count function in the previous video. In the top half of this slide, you see a select statement that uses the count function for both the country code and district columns. The intention was that we would get a count of unique country code and unique district values. But if you look at the result set pointed to by the top red arrow, you see that the count is 4,079 for both of the columns. In other words, the count value is the number of rows in the table. To get the count of unique country code and district values, we can use the select statement shown in the bottom half. In this select, the distinct function is embedded within the count function. Keep in mind, when you have embedded or composite functions, the function is evaluated from the inside out. That means that the distinct part is processed first, then the count function is applied to the results of the distinct. So in this example, The count with distinct for the country code first gets all of the unique country code values in the city table. After getting the unique values, the count function provides the count of the number of unique values. The same process occurs for the district value. The unique set of district values is obtained first, then the count function is applied to that set of unique values. In the next video, we'll look at the group by keyword.